Hello, everyone. We're back in the corner because I was like, let's switch it up this time. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I thought. Let's switch it up again. Go from the couch to corner, couch to corner. It's pretty much quiet besides the washer and dryer. So, fingers crossed, it stays pretty quiet. Hope you all are doing well, per usual. August is almost over. It's kind of crazy. Like, years just going by. Um, Still need to edit my book. I need to really get on that. Um, I'm gonna give it myself. I said the end of the summer. I'm gonna give myself to the end of the year. I'm gonna really push myself. Cause that's what I gotta do. I gotta edit. Gotta make sure everything's perfect or as perfect as can be, and then I could just put it out there. Speaking of which, one of my friends, I subscribe to her on Amazon because she self-publishes, and I feel like she be putting out her books. She writes fiction, and I also write fiction as well as poetry. But I feel like she be putting them out because I be getting the notifications. So I need to get on that so that people can get my notifications on Amazon. Like, so and so just published again. So I need to really motivate myself. So today I'm gonna start a series, a project. I'm gonna call it a series, where I review my top 10 favorite movies on their own. So all of the top 10 favorite movies are gonna get their own video. Um, so yeah, and I'm gonna do it with my favorite horror movies and my favorite albums because of the three top 10 lists I've made. I have other ideas for top 10 lists, but I haven't been able to get to 10 for one of the lists, which is gospel albums. I think I got to like 7, so I'm a little heathen. Don't listen to gospel that much, but I do have some favorite gospel albums. I feel like I could do books, but I gotta like dig deep into my brain to be like, what is my all-time favorite? Because I don't know if I have like a number one favorite. I also don't have a lot of my books with me; they're in storage. So that's also a thing. So maybe I'll go through storage and look at my books and be like, which one have I? Looks like it's been read the most. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So today we're gonna start with number 10, which is the movie "But I'm a Cheerleader," and I'm gonna tell you something about it. It is a satirical teen comedy, romantic teen comedy. It stars Natasha Lyonne as Megan Bloomfield, a high school cheerleader whose parents sent her to a residential inpatient conversion therapy camp to cure her lesbianism. Um, yeah, that is from Wikipedia, but I took out one sentence because it kind of spoils the whole movie, which is like isn't the point for you to watch the movie, even though I've read like full movie synopsises and like the full plot and still watch the movie. So I mean, granted, you can see it being acted out. That was my excuse when I would spoil stuff. Like, I have to see it being acted out. But now I don't want to spoil anything for myself now. I just want to go in pretty blind. So that's all I'm going to tell you. Um, it was released July 7th, the year 2000. It came out a year before, but it was on like the TIFF, the movie festival circuit. It was directed by Jamie Babbitt. It was her directorial debut, which was really cool. Like I said, it stars Natasha Lyonne as the main character, Megan Bloomfield, and then Clea Duvall as Graham Eaton, who is her love interest at the conversion camp. I will say, this is not like a traumatic conversion camp, I will say. Like, there's no like shock therapy or any. I guess the whole thing, in my opinion, is abusive anyway, because you're trying to change how someone is. But there's not anything extreme. It is a comedy, so they do have a couple of jokes about shock therapy and like a little shocker, but that's it. So you're not gonna see anything too traumatic. So just saying that. Kathy Maordi, Mayoredi. I hope I'm saying these people's names right. As Mary Brown, who is like the leader of the or the teacher, I guess, for the women. Well, she's for both, but she's the main leader of the conversion camp. It's called True Directions. RuPaul Charles, you all know RuPaul. He plays the character named Mike. He's in the movie. That's really fun. Mink Stoll as, that's kind of a cute name, Mink. Okay, Stoll as Nancy Bloomfield, which is Megan's mom. And then Bud Court as Peter Bloomfield, which is Megan's dad. Edie Seabryan as Rock Brown, who is the son of the leader Mary Brown. He is straight, like he's a success. That's what she says. If you watch the movie, you'll see that he's not a success. He's still gay. Of course, the AC comes on, but hey, we're used to it. I don't know if I want to. Okay, so some of these are like their parents. So I'm gonna skip them. Is Clayton one of the kids? Kip Purdue as Clayton Dunn. I think he is one of the kids. Dante Bosco as Dolph. One of the kids. Douglas Spain as Andre, one of the kids. Katrina Phillips as Jan. She's also one of the kids. Catherine Town as Sinead Lauren, one of the kids. Rant Willie as Jared. I think that's also one of the kids. And Michelle Williams as Kimberly. And I'm going to ignore that last one. So that's the main cast, pretty much. So, as always, I'm going to go over my pros and my cons and tell you what I thought about the movie. So I will say the movie's not long. It's an hour and 25 minutes. It's pretty cool. I took a couple days to watch it because I just do that. I'm not a very, I don't know, I think maybe it could be everyone's attention spans are kind of like not that great, but you know. So my pros were, number one was the music. The music was really good and like very fitting. Like that was the first thing I put on my pros list when I started making my list. And I especially love, this one song is called Glass Vase Cello Case by a group called Tattletale, and it's only like, I guess it only was made for the movie. It's really beautiful. It's a really sweet song. Yeah, it's a sweet song, and I instantly remembered it from the first time I watched it. It's so cute. The only thing is, for some reason, the soundtrack is not on any music streaming sites, but people have made playlists of it on YouTube, which also in the Wikipedia, it has like the soundtrack, or like the score, I guess, technically, and like all the songs that played, but you can't, they didn't make a CD of it, which, you know, that's the one thing. It's like, unless you have YouTube Music, I guess, you can't really like listen to it while you're doing other stuff. I guess you could, but then, you know, it might close. But yeah, or you can get the app. There's this app called Muzi that I use that you can look up YouTube videos on the app and it doesn't close. And you can also pay a one-time fee to get rid of all the ads so that you don't have to deal with it. So I highly recommend Muzi. So my second pro, is the acting. Natasha Lynn and Clea Duvall did a great job in this movie. They were very convincing and embodied their characters very well. I could believe that they actually had chemistry. You know, that they actually liked each other. It was very sweet. They did a great job. I think everyone pretty much did a great job at acting as well. And I love RuPaul and Eddie Sebring's character. That was the one who was the son of Mary Brown, who was straight. They both were very good. I also love the XX gay couple. They were so cute, which I guess they're not in the cast list for some reason. I think they also acted very well. So everybody did pretty much a very good job. Hold on, y'all. Somebody texted me. Let me check it. I'll text her back in a minute. Okay, I just wanted to see what it said. So yeah. So I think everybody did a really great job acting, honestly. The story, I think the story was so cute and heartwarming. You know, of course, besides the parents not being supportive of their kids, I think the kids that decided to be true to themselves, like, really made the story redeemable. And, like, you know, the story was very, uh, I thought it was very sweet, you know, and it's kind of sad because it's like the kids had to go, like, otherwise the parents are like kicking them out and they're not like gonna support them, which is crazy to me. But I'm gonna get into my thoughts on that later. I'm gonna dig more into that later. The aesthetic slash setting, I love all the colors and the way all the scenes looked. It was such a cute aesthetic and very visually appealing. It was lots of pink and blue, obviously. Because, she's trying to, Mary Brown is trying to get them, to think straight, for lack of a better pun. Huh? Yeah, that's what she's trying to make them do. So everything is like, divided by color, and the girls wear the pink and the boys wear the blue. And they have this one scene where I think Graham is painting Megan's toenails, and they're like in purple, and it's just such a cute scene. I need to figure out how to edit clips into here because that would actually be really helpful. But I think also when I googled this movie, that like a still from the movie, this part came up, so you can check that out. But once I learn how to edit, I'm gonna be unstoppable, y'all. But I really love that part. That's what I need to work on as well. Like, I have so many things I want to learn. Like, I want to learn how to do these weird edits that, like, I see some YouTubers I follow do that are really funny, and I want to learn just how to put clips in, just in general. You know what I mean? Of course, without getting copyright strikes. So I got to figure that out as well. Got a lot of stuff I want to learn, y'all. Yeah, it was super cute. The only con I had was there are stereotypes slash caricatures. And I did see when this movie first came out that was a critique by critics that like they kind of did some stereotypical like gay characters, which I agree with. They did. And I understand it's a comedy, but it did have its deep moments, So I feel like they could have changed that, but it's early 2000s comedy. You know what I mean? All right, so let's go to my overall opinion. Oop. At first, when I was rewatching this movie, I was like, should I keep it on my top 10 favorite list? And after watching it, I think I should. I still really loved it watching it the second time. I felt like maybe I had a better time watching it the first time, though. Maybe because it was like new to me. I don't know. But I don't know. I remember like having a better time watching it the first time, but I still enjoyed rewatching it though. So that was good. Where was I in my notes? This might want to be one of my favorite movies that I've watched the least. Because I know for sure, like most of my favorite movies I watched at least 3 times, and that's just at least, because it could be more for some of these movies, especially number 1, which if you watch the video, it's The Wiz, but of course it's gonna be a long time to like get to The Wiz, like a deep dive into that. I'm so excited for that. That's my favorite movie of all time. I've watched it so many times, so. But this one I've only watched twice, but I've definitely at least watched, I'm trying to think of the one movie that I watched not more than 3 times. But I've seen Queen and Slim 3 times, which is on the list. I watched it twice in theaters. No, I'm pretty sure I've watched it 4 times actually, so. Because I watched it with one friend with the commentary from the film director and the producer. And then I watched it with another friend just all the way through without the commentary. So yeah, so I gotta keep running this one back, Gotta catch up with the other ones. So I gotta change that. I still love it and had fun rewatching it. I love the message and how like aesthetically pleasing it was. And of course it's a 10 out of 10 despite my one con, and I highly recommend it. It's free on Tubi and YouTube both have ads. I know the Tubi ads are not long, but I cannot tell you about the YouTube ads because I did not watch it on YouTube. So just keep that in mind. I don't think YouTube ads, they can be a lot, but I don't think they can be. They're not that long from like what I've watched recently, but I don't know. I didn't watch the movie on YouTube. I can only tell you where I watched it. Tubi, I will say at some points they weren't long. They're like 30 seconds each, but they did have three in a row sometimes, and I was like, just put the movie back on. You know what I mean? But it was like over a minute, so it wasn't even like that long. So yeah, those are where you can stream them on. I don't know if you can stream it anywhere else, but I just know those two are free because it got recommended to me on YouTube and it says free with ads. And I was like, ooh, I could rewatch it. But then I rewatched it on Tubi anyway. So I'm going to go into a rant, my acceptance rant. I wrote it. And I feel like parents always say they would love you no matter what. But if you do something they don't approve of, they want to throw you out. And I said, of course, none of the parents in this movie were good parents because they wanted their children to change from being who they were. And it's just like so disheartening to really be like, hey, you have to change this or else I'm not going to support you. You're out of my house. It's just crazy to me. Now, if you're like violent or you're like disrespectful, I mean, yeah, no, I could kind of see that, but not because of your sexual orientation, which I'm going to talk about that. For me, I couldn't imagine going through all the pain of pregnancy and childbirth just to disown my child for being themselves. And I would love and accept my children for who they are. And to me, being gay or trans is not a bad thing. Or gay, lesbian, pansexual, all of those things are not bad to me. I know other people have their own opinions. But yeah, that's just me. And there were actual bad things you could disown them for, like being an abuser, being a rapist, or being a serial killer, which, let me just tell y'all, I was just thinking about, when I was thinking about that, like, those are actual bad things. Jeffrey Dahmer, I was thinking about that. Jeffrey Dahmer, I think his dad was still, like, visiting him. His dad was doing interviews, like, and he was a serial killer. And he's still associated with him. But if your kid is gay, you're going to not want to talk to them, not want to be around them, but disown them. That's not even bad to me. And your sexual orientation shouldn't be seen as a bad thing. Oh, I already said that. It's just who you like to date. That's it to me. And at the end of the day, as long as their partner isn't abusive and as long as your child's not abusive to their partner, why do you even care? It's like, why does it even matter to you? Now, unless they bring in crazy people to the house, I would understand that. Like, you can't just bring in your crazy dates to the house. I would understand that, but not overall because of their sexual orientation. Yeah, you want to throw away your child for finding someone they may truly love? That's crazy to me. It's absolutely just so heartbreaking for me. I'm glad there are elder gays, like in the movie they had the XX gays, because they were gay. Then they went to the conversion camp to denounce being gay, and then they were like, you know what? Actually, we're gonna be our true selves. We are gay, so they're XX gays. I hope that I explained that right, and I hope that was not confusing how I explained that. But that's actually a thing, because when I clicked on it in the Wikipedia or page about the movie, they actually have a whole article about XX gays. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to Wikipedia, or if you don't trust Wikipedia, just scroll all the way to the bottom and click the article where they get the information from. So yeah. But yeah, there are actual elder gays, like in the movie, that really do take in LGBTQ plus children that need help and support, and I feel like that is so nice, you know. And I think you should have conditions on love, because it shouldn't be unconditional, because that means people are just going to run all over you and be doing whatever. But I do not think your condition of your love should be you trying to change who your child is. So that's my take on it. Because there are people who children are just Like, you would think, like, oh my gosh, this is like the worst child ever. But they loving that child. You a mass shooter, but your parents are still like, oh, my little boy. But if you're gay, they would have been like, oh no. Okay. But that's just my opinion on it. If you want to share your opinions, you can. Of course, if you say something crazy, you're going to get deleted. But yeah, that's my review of But I'm a Cheerleader. Of course, all these movies are going to be 10 out of 10, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm going to deep dive into all the movies. Also, for the horror and the albums list, some of them might overlap with reviews I've already done. For example, I've reviewed Renaissance by Beyonce twice, so I'm probably going to combine them with other numbers whenever I do them. So yeah, so just stay tuned for those. I hope you all will enjoy this series and learning more about my favorite movies and favorite music and other favorite movies again. Maybe I'll do a book list. Maybe I'll really deep dive into my memory and try to come up with 10 books that I just loved and one that I love the mostest. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy this series. I feel like it's gonna be so interesting, especially like going to the ones I really, really love. One of these numbers has 3 movies on it, so it's gonna be something. Cause I took like 3 days to watch this one movie that's an hour and 25 minutes. So then I gotta review 3 movies at once at some point. But I'm gonna work it out. So yeah. So then I know the next one, number 9, is Hustle and Flow. I'm really excited to rewatch that one because they have some like really funny moments, and I'm like so excited to talk about it. But yeah, I will see you all next week.